Don't be afraid to ask for help, because the consequences could be dire, on today's Oblyron Divination. Greetings, Soul Family. I am Oblyron, the Lord of Love and the Magister of the Cube. Thank you for joining me on today's Elemental Synastry reading. It's a divination technique I devised which uses the tarot, astrology, and the 5 elements. So I start off with the element of spirit, which is represented by the bell. And I draw a tarot card to see what is influencing that particular element. Alright, so what is influencing the element of spirit? Okay, the inverted star. Alright. Okay, so the inverted star generally refers to, let's say, advice that we didn't heed. So the spirit is sort of sending us a warning. The ether is sending us a warning. It's saying to pay a little bit more attention. It's saying to accept help. And it's saying to basically let go a little bit more. Learn to accept the help. Learn to open up to others, and learn to learn to understand one's own shortcomings as well. So yeah, interesting. Okay, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. All right, we've got Saturn in Virgo in the first house. Wow. All right. Okay, let's line this up. So the astrology die offer their advice or outcome, and I roll once for the house, and I roll a second time for the decan. Okay, so we've got 7. All right, so we are in the middle decan of Virgo, which is the Lord of Material Gain, and it's saying that with so Saturn is here, and it's saying that gain is possible, but it's only possible by structure and discipline. We have it also. We have also the first house, which is Aries, and it's also represented of the persona and the self. So what it's saying here, yeah, okay, all right. It's saying that there's a lot of abundance here in the spirit, but we have to be willing to get over ourselves. We have to be willing to step out of our comfort zone, and to also have the self-control and discipline to be able to manage, well, and to also be able to I guess have the discipline to be able to know when to ask for help. It's very interesting because last week I posted a short on saying that it's okay to ask for help. You know, strength is asking for help, and it's very interesting that theme is sort of coming up again with this inverted star, which is again difficulty in asking for help, difficulty in being able to say, hey, you know, I'm here, I'm struggling, and again, it also, being in the first house, it has to do a lot with our own ego and our own persona as well. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help, and don't be afraid to make those connections, because that material abundance is there, but we have to know how to seize it. We have to know when we're in over our heads. We can't go through this saying that excuse me for a moment, saying that, I am an island and I can do it all on my own. We have to know when to say, you know what, this is a bit over my head. This is a bit out of my comfort zone. I need help. And that's what the spirit is trying to tell us. Okay, so let's move along and see what the other elements have to say about that. So the whole reading goes back to the element of spirit. Spirit is sort of the major theme of the reading, and the other elements are sort of modalities of that. Okay, so the next element is the element of fire, and it is represented by the wands. And it is our drives and ambition. It is our human spirit. Let's see. So what is influencing the element of fire? Okay. Inverted Knight of Cups. All right. A lot of inverted cards here so far. So, the Inverted Knight of Cups. Yeah. All right. So what I'm getting from this is that our own drive and ambitions could be deceiving ourselves. Our own hubris could lead us down, and our own stubbornness is leading us down a point to where we're almost kind of lying to ourselves. And it makes sense because, here it's saying, all right, we're already having a hard time asking for help. We're already probably in a state of confusion, a state of like I said, stubbornness, and it's also being amplified. Excuse me for a moment. It's also being amplified by the inverted Nine of Cups because, again, it's almost like we're kind of deceiving ourselves in a way. When it comes to the element of fire. So perhaps maybe we are setting goals that are either too lofty for us to achieve, or perhaps maybe we have to reevaluate our goals as well. Maybe we have to reevaluate exactly, what it is that we want to achieve is what it is that we want to achieve, so that we can clear out that doubt. We can clear out all of the things which cause us to be a bit confused and a bit stubborn. Let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Okay, so we have the moon in Aries in the second house. Okay, it's interesting. We have spirit in the first house, which is Aries, and then we have the moon, or I should say Aries pops up again in the second house with the moon. All right. So, and here, let's re-roll for the decan. 2 again. All right. So we are in the first decan of Aries, which is the Lord of Dominion. Okay. Now, it sounds cool, but I think in this sense, so the Lord of Dominion is the start of the decans of Aries. It's the beginning of a journey in a sense, because we may be sure of ourselves, we may know that we can do it, but we're still at the beginning. It's like when we could be younger and maybe a bit more headstrong, although not every young person is headstrong. But we could be probably a bit more headstrong in how we view our ego and how we view our sense of self. And that would actually make a lot of sense, because with the inverted star, being it hard to ask for help, it seems to be amplified. And again, it's saying with the inverted Knight of Cups that we have to get over our self-deception. We have to get over the trickster energy tricking ourselves. A lot of times, it can be easy to trick ourselves. A lot of times we lie to ourselves to keep going, but that has to come to an end. And with it being in the moon, it's saying that on a sort of deep emotional level, on a very introspective level, that this is what we need to deal with. With it being in the second house of Taurus and it being related to our sense of comfort and materialism, it would also suggest that, perhaps it's time to really reevaluate what matters to us and what we are striving for. Are we sort of lying to ourselves in what we really want? Are we lying to ourselves in our drives and ambitions? And so, yeah, I'm getting a really strong sort of sense of confusion from this. We're not quite sure where to go, or not quite sure what to do. Let's see. And it looks like, 7. No, we don't quite have a conjunction there. But, oops. But yeah, it's pretty close. So again, with Aries popping up so much in these two elements, I would say really look towards the ego and really look towards the identity, and really ask yourself, or we really need to ask ourselves, what is it that we need and want? What is it, and are we too proud to reach out to others to say, hey, I'm a bit confused. I need a little bit of help here. I'm drowning here. Don't have the discipline to know when you're in over your head is basically what I'm getting from this right now. All right, let's move along to the element of air, which is represented by the swords. So the element of air generally has to deal with either our communication or perhaps our intellectual pursuits. Let's see. What is influencing the element of air? Okay. So it looks like it is the inverted world. Yeah, well, that would make a lot of sense. Okay, so in astrology, the world is represented by Saturn. So we have a lot of Saturnian energy popping up. We have a lot of Aries energy popping up. And with it being inverted, it could mean that something is happening either something is happening within the element of air, which is causing either a type of stagnation or perhaps being, an incompleteness. Maybe with it being Saturn, perhaps we're stagnating because we didn't have the proper plans. We are stagnating because we didn't follow through. So, and again, with it being the element of air, it could also, I would say it probably leans more towards our intellectual pursuits. Not necessarily the communicative aspects of the element of air, but rather how we study, how we approach our studies. And yeah, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. So we have Mars in Sagittarius in the 4th house. All right. Again, Mars, aka, I should say Mars is the Roman version of Aries. Again, a lot of Aries energy. All right, Mars in Sagittarius in the 4th house. And let's see what decan we're in. Okay, we are in the 3rd decan of Sagittarius. Wow, okay. So the 3rd decan of Sagittarius is the Lord of Oppression, which is also influenced by Saturn. So lots of Saturnian energy is popping in through this. yeah, basically, wow. Basically, we're kind of in this sort of confused state. We're in a state that, yeah, and also, yeah, with it being in the fourth house, which is Cancer. It has to deal with our home life, and generally our sort of familial relationships. So with it, it's saying that there's a lot of, wow. Okay. It's saying that there's a lot that we need to learn, even about our own family and the people closest to us as well. Um, yeah, perhaps there's been a lot of, there's been a bit too much, there's been too much stagnation. There's been too much restriction. Saturn is a great teacher, but when there's too much Saturnian energy, it can be very, it can be, almost restrictive to the point. If you let Saturn have his way, he'll you'll almost kind of become almost immobile from all the restriction and all the sort of overly rigorous discipline. So there's a lot of energy here, which is sort of, I would say, yeah, it's getting to the point with Saturn's influence being a little bit too predominant, also clashing with the Aries energy and the Mars energy too. So we have, this is, we got Aries in the first house here. We have Aries being one of the influencing signs here, and we have Mars being the influencing planet here. So there's a huge conflict between Mars and Aries, or I'm sorry, between Mars and Saturn. And with that, it's saying on one hand, I'm a strong individual, I got to do what I got to do. But then on the other hand, I don't know what to do because I am too bound up. I am too put in my box, so to speak. Okay, let's see. 30, 60. Then we got a 2. No, nothing forming there yet. Let's see. 30, 60. Oh! We do, however, have... Yeah. We have a square forming between air and spirit. So, yeah. And again, it makes perfect sense because, as I was saying, we have the conflict between Mars and Saturn. So we also have the planet Mars and the planet Saturn influencing these two elements, and it's also forming a square. So wow, a lot of conflicting energy, a lot of tension between those two conflicting energies too. Okay, let's see. Let's move along and see if we could find perhaps maybe some light at the end of the tunnel to this, or perhaps some a way out or a solution or something. Let's see. Maybe in just acknowledging this, that is a solution. Okay. So what's influencing the element of Earth? Now, the element of Earth is represented by the pentacles, and it can be either spiritual or material wealth. They're pretty much one and the same a lot of the times as well. And many times we manifest that spiritual wealth before we start to manifest the material wealth. Okay. So let's see. What's influencing Earth? All right. I guess this is a reading of inversions. So we have the inverted Five of Swords. And let's see. Yeah, I would say It could be a couple of things. I would say it could either be a vindication from, let's say, someone who's wronged you, or it can also be a sort of amplification of a further degradation to one's character, to one's personality. And so, you know what? Let me see something real quick. Sometimes I need to call upon some extra stuff. Okay. All right. Wow, that's a pretty big no. So what we're looking at is sort of a further degradation. It's sort of the sort of extra bad version of what this card can generally represent. And with it being influencing, or with it influencing the element of earth, it could be a further degradation of our finances, or it could be a further degradation of our health. Either of those responses would put in the confusion and the restriction and the immobilization of what to do. It would actually sort of amplify the rest of this reading as well. So, all right, let's see what the astrology die have to say to that. Let's see. Okay. So we have Venus in Aquarius in the first house. All right. Venus in Aquarius in the first house. Okay, let's roll for the deck and to see, since we already have something else in the first house. All right, 7. Oh wow. Conjunction. Okay, conjunction junction. What's your function? Here, actually, let me put this over here. If any of you got that, you are probably officially old. No. Or I should say officially wizened. How about that? All right. Okay, so we have a conjunction formed between the element of spirit and the element of earth. Uh-oh. Here. Give me 1 second, everyone. My camera's about to run out of batteries. Here, 1 second. Hopefully this doesn't mess it up too much. Okay. All right. There we go. All right, we still lined up? Okay, good. Okay, so. Wow. Okay, Venus in Aquarius in the first house. So, yeah, okay. Okay, so, wow. Okay. A lot of times when Venus is in Aquarius, well, actually, let me take this back a little bit. The 5 of Swords is influenced by the planet Venus. It is the first decan of Aquarius, which like I said is influenced by the planet of Venus, and it is called the Lord of Defeat. And we also have it repeated again right here with Venus in Aquarius in the first house. So we have 2 Venus in Aquarius within this one element, within the element of Earth. And yeah, when Venus is in Aquarius, a lot of times what the situation is, you know, she doesn't want to admit, you know, but because Venus is what wants to please, she doesn't want to admit the hardships that are happening because things are pretty rough right now. And the fact that we get a double dose of that, and the fact that that it's represented in the first house and also by the element of air, I would say it could be leaning closer to a health issue, perhaps. Maybe someone out there does have a health issue. And again, if you're going through something like that, make sure to get to the doctors. Just don't take the elemental synastry reading for it. Make sure to seek the appropriate professionals. Because yeah, your health and your health is everything. Make sure to get the proper help. And again, wow, this is really kind of shaping out to kind of be something like that. Someone is in over their head, someone feels overwhelmed. When it comes to health or money, either of those can be hugely debilitating if we're in trouble with any of them. And with Venus trying to people please in this particular scenario, it can also sort of add to the confusion as well. So, just it also kind of makes more sense with this Saturn reading here now, because Saturn is saying, have that discipline. Don't just hear what you want to hear. You have to have the discipline, and you have to have the awareness to really speak your truth and to say what you gotta say. To face the facts, to face reality, really is what it's trying to say. Yeah, it makes sense that the world is inverted. It makes sense that we have this conflict between Mars and Saturn, because essentially, we have a conflict between what the ego wants and what reality is. So, yeah, this is so in this particular scenario, you have to be almost brutally honest with yourself and say, this is what I need. This is what I have to do. Wow. Okay. Let's move along. So, go into the last element, which is the element of water. And it is represented by the cups. The element of water, can represent our intuition. It can represent our emotions. It can also even represent our ancestors and the past. So, let's see what is influencing the element of water. All right. Okay. One more shuffle. Oops. Probably should have took one of those cards. They seem to have kind of wanted to pop out. But we'll see. Okay. That's actually not too bad. So we have the Seven of Cups, and what it's suggesting here is that on an emotional level, it's saying that you can fool yourself in the other elements, but on a deep-seated emotional level, you know what you're going through. You know what you got to do. The Seven of Cups is called the Lord of Illusionary Success, or let's say it's a card where we have a tendency to daydream, or just maybe have a tendency to lie to ourselves a little bit. And when it's inverted, it is saying that no, you're not lying to yourself on this issue. So whatever is happening over here, again, like I said, you can fool yourself on a cognitive level, you could fool yourself on many different levels, and have all this conflict, but at its core, you know what's up. And I think, yeah, that seems to be the sort of overall, the overall moral of the story here is, don't lie to yourself. Your gut instinct is probably right. You know, your gut instinct is telling you something, and you got to listen to it. Don't don't uh, don't trick yourself on that. Okay, so what do the astrology die have to say to that? All right, Pluto in Aquarius in the 6th house. All right. And let's re-roll for the decan. Okay, 2. So we are in the first decan of Aquarius. Wow. There's a lot of repeats here. Okay, so the first decan of Aquarius is the Lord of Defeat. We also have the Lord of Defeat popping up in this 5 of Swords right here. And yeah, with it, yeah, so, and again, yeah, with the 5 of Swords, we also have the sort of, this Venus-Aquarius relationship and this influence happening too. So, the Lord of Defeat could either be a sore loser or a sore winner. Sometimes it could also be maybe not ourselves, but perhaps someone else wronged us. But I don't get that with this particular reading, because again, everything has been about someone lying to themselves. And so I would say, yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow on an emotional level, but it's a truth. It's a tough pill to swallow, but now's the time to stop lying to yourself. And with it being in the house, oh my God, wow, that just popped in, or that just happened right now. With it being in the house of Virgo, Virgo definitely can also relate to health as well. So this is turning into a health reading, it seems like. And again, like I said, if anyone has any questions about their health, like, please go get a checkup right now, because this should only confirm what's maybe going on in the back of your mind or whatever. This isn't the diagnosis. You still have to take action in what you got to do. So, yeah, definitely stop telling yourself it's no big deal. Stop telling yourself that you don't need the help. Yeah, wow, that you don't need the help. Yeah, with the inverted star. I know it's been kind of covered up by these cards, but the inverted star, what did I say at the beginning of the reading? The inverted star is difficulty in asking for help. And that's what the message of the Spirit is also trying to say. Spirit's saying, you're having a hard time asking for help, but you gotta do it. All of this relates back to the element of spirit, like I said. And again, with Pluto influencing this particular aspect, we're looking at an ending to that, where we're looking at a transformation. So that attitude has to change within oneself. That denial has to change within oneself. Face what's going on in the body. Face what's going on with your health. Wow. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's see what other aspects we have. If we have any. Let's see. So we got the conjunction there. All right. And again, yeah. Like I said, with the conjunction between the spirit and the earth, or yeah, the element of earth, those are pretty much one and the same. And again, that difficulty in asking for help has to deal with the fact that you don't, or at least someone doesn't want to face the reality, to face the truth. And that's really where it's all stemming from. Wow, okay. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Yeah, we got that square forming there between the spirit and the earth. Or I'm sorry, between the spirit and the air. And we also have, let's see there. We also have we also have another square. Wow, what a difficult reading. Okay. So we have a square that's been formed between, well, spirit and earth against air. So all of these are creating difficulties. All of these, and then we have another square between fire and water. So two squares formed. Everything in this reading is squared. Wow. A lot of conflict. A lot of conflict, a lot of indecision, a lot of self-deception. Man, if you resonate with this, man, I really hope that that you do get help with this. I really hope that, I hope that you're able to overcome that difficulty in reaching out and in asking for help. Because yeah, something's happening where there is definitely a serious situation happening that needs to be addressed, and if it's not addressed, it could lead to some pretty dire consequences. So please, if you resonate with this, get that help, get what you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Like I said in my in my short last week, don't be afraid to ask for help. There is strength in asking for help. There is strength in reaching out to others. We all go through difficult times. We all go through periods where things are just so bad that we just don't even want to admit how bad they are. But sometimes we're just in over our heads. Sometimes we just got to do the things we don't want to do. So yeah, yeah, I will be I will be praying for you, whoever this is. I will be lending you my strength and spirit, and hopefully it will help to uplift you into your highest and best. Okay. So, whew. Oh man. Yeah, sometimes these readings can get a little bit physically drained. You start to feel people's essence, feel people's presence. And yeah, I think we're gonna leave that here today, or we're gonna leave it out here today. Yeah, please do what you got to do. Please take care of yourself. Okay, so we're gonna call it there. I hope you got something from this, and I wish you all the best. Much love and blessings. I love you all, and I hope to see you all again next week.